quickly, we've only got a couple of minutes here before we move on with other parts of the show, but I just want to get your view. We didn't talk about it last night, even though when you and I were on air and we were doing the Ralph Ellis back pages tomorrow tonight, Marcus Rashford, lots of stories about him and him thinking about his future, supposedly. Lots of stories, though, actually, about Rashford and his future at Manchester United. What do you make of the Rashford scenario, where he's going, what's happening to him at the club, etc.? There was the opportunity for him to play against City at the weekend. The manager decided to go with Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba up front and leave Rashford on the bench. What does that say to you as a player when that decision is made and you're sat there?
Well, clearly he's had a very difficult last 7 or 8 months, hasn't he? He's had a tough time, and we all know what brilliant stuff he did during COVID lockdown. What he did to the government and what he did for single parents and getting food into young children's homes. Remarkable stuff. It does feel as though that somehow, and I'm not saying the two are related, but I'm saying that there was so much going on in his brain space that he was doing brilliant stuff. He was being spoken about in Parliament. We spoke at length about him. He was in the front page, the back pages. It does feel a little bit like his career has gone sideways, hasn't really moved forward. And I'm just looking back at his performances, his appearances last year, and he played a lot of games for club and country. He was involved in 64 games for club and country last year. Right, it's a lot of football.
When you say last calendar year or last season?
Last season. The Euros come into that. Okay. International games come into that.
Yep.
Played a lot of games for Manchester United, clearly, and scoring 23 goals. Now, he's never been prolific, but that actually is a good return for a player like Marcus Rashford. He's not an outside. He's not a Harry Kane. He's a different type of player, and that's a really good return. So think of those numbers I've just told you there. Fast forward 12 months. He's played 24 and 5 goals. I don't think he's played for England this season. So it's not just his club career suffered internationally. So if there was a World Cup coming up this summer, right now, I'm not sure he gets inside in the squad. And I think
that he gets in the squad.
I'm not sure he does.
Let alone the starting 11.
I'm not sure he does.
Wow.
Are you convinced he gets in the squad?
Do you know what? It's interesting. I watched Arsenal at the weekend, and every player, they're all young players, and every player, when they've got the ball at their feet, they'll look happy, they'll look excited, they'll know what they're doing. I see the goal Saka scored.
Yeah,
right?
It's a lovely goal.
And I thought that's Rashford 2 years ago, enjoying his football, big smile on his face, scoring outrageous goals, loving the game. And then I realised how far behind Rashford is with where he should be currently. He's one of my favourite players.
He's
Marcus
a brilliant
Rashford.
player.
I think he's a wonderful player.
I agree.
But I don't know what's quite not right at the moment.
Well, it doesn't help right now that he's at a football club, a little bit like Jadon Sancho, where Man United they're not going anywhere fast. They're not. There's been managerial changes. It's not been a happy time at United this season, and I think that there's been a number of reasons why United have been like that. He's part of the problem, but also I do feel he might have to move on.
See, I can't see him. He's a Manchester boy through and through. I just can't see. Where would he go? The talk of him going to PSG and replacing Mbappe.
Well, you mentioned. Can you imagine what Arteta would do? Imagine him going to Arsenal right now.
Yeah, he wouldn't go to Arsenal. That's a step down. You can't go from Man United to Arsenal. It's a massive step down.
Yeah, but you're talking
about...
Well,
it is, though, right? It is. You agree with that?
Well, right now, he's not. But Man United aren't.
What about if he...
Man United aren't. You can't...
No, but you know United will get it... Well, you hope that United will get it right soon. They're too big a juggernaut to get wrong again.
But if he's seriously thinking about him, and this is what happens with footballers. Yes, he might be a Manchester boy. Yes, he's come through the system, and he bleeds Man United. But if he feels as though his personal career is not going anywhere, and he can't get in the starting 11, clearly it's not a happy ship. If he does decide to move on to further his career, you can't be surprised, can you?
We'll come back to that in a moment. We'll stay with that subject, actually, because Ali McCoist was alongside the double award-winning Laura Woods on The Breakfast Show this morning. They had a discussion as well on Rashford's future, and Ali was asked what he would do if he was in the United forward shoes.
I know he's a local lad, and I know he has been great for Manchester United. Of course he has. But he's lost his zing, his mojo. And he needs to find it again. And I've got a feeling it might have to be away from Manchester United. If I'm Marcus Rashford and PSG have come in for me to replace Kylian Mbappe, I am giving that serious consideration. In fact, I'm probably going.
See, I understand what I love, Alan, because I understand what you're saying, but my thinking is at the end of the season, so what, 3 months? Where are we in March, April, May? 2 months, right? 2-3 months. Manager's gone. New manager comes in, new philosophy, new starting 11, yada, yada, yada. It all begins again. I can't see any reason, any benefit why Rashford would leave Man United now, knowing everything's going to change anyway.
But is it going to change for the better?
Well, you'd like to think so.
You'd like to think so.
You'd expect it to. United have got it wrong for so many years since Fergie left. You'd expect the next appointment to be the right one. You'd hope as a United fan, right?
Okay, right now, if PSG want him, where would you go?
I'd stay at United. I'd stay at United because he's a great player, Marcus Rashford, right? And if he leaves, the type of player United will be after will be Marcus Rashford, won't it? He's an excellent player. There's no doubt about that.
It does feel as though he's got that. It's stale there, you know. And sometimes players just have to move on. So that happens in football. They have to move on. They've got to find a new fresh start.
I don't think he can. I think he's so Manchester United through and through. Well, he really is.
Well, so was Danny Welbeck. You know, look, he had to move on eventually. And if he's starting to feel like that, and maybe, I don't know, maybe he's seen Ronaldo come in, seen Cavani come in, Sancho come in. It's like, where does he fit? If he can't fit into this team right now, I don't think Sancho was needed. Right, I think that and then Ronaldo come in.
No, he was. He wasn't needed on the right hand side. But the fact that we signed Ronaldo meant,
and then Dan James had to move away. If it's going through his head now, and it clearly is, and we don't know how broken Man United might be. It could be more broken than you realise, couldn't it? You're hearing all sorts coming out the ground. I would
wait. I would wait till the new season, new manager.
But then if he's not going to get in the England squad, now it'll be fascinating to find out what happens this month. There's an international friendly. Does he join up with the squad?
I know, but the World Cup is until the end of the year. So you'd have the whole of the new... you'd have the whole start, August, September, October.
Yeah, but the last 12 months might tell him he's got to move on. Only he will know what the decision is.